Hi, I'm Clever Ghoul, but you can call me Nikki. Welcome back to the channel. This week I wanted to do something a little different. I was at Michael's and I saw this miniature kit, which is the Rolife Holiday Living Room Kit. So when I saw this cute little teddy bear all cozy in his room, I knew I had to turn it into a little witch's living room. So that's what we're doing this week. If you want to follow along at home, all you'll need is the same kit, you'll need some extra paint, and if you have any spooky miniatures lying around, that would be really helpful. I happen to have all those things on hand, and I understand that maybe other people don't, but that's what I used to make this project come to life. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Here's a closer look at the kit that we're going to witch up today, the Holiday Living Room from Rolife. It comes with an instruction booklet and all the materials you need, minus any cutting tools. The instructions booklet also includes the artwork, walls, and floor for the scene, as well as the template for the armchair. I started off with the walls of the room. You're meant to use the green piece of paper for the wall, but I wanted something that would mimic wallpaper and had more of an autumnal or spooky color palette. So I used this striped piece I had on hand. I traced the wood shape and then cut out the striped paper. I decided to use the plain white piece that the kit provides for the outer wall. The instructions say to use the glue that they provide for the paper, but I decided to use a glue stick so the piece would dry quicker and to get a smooth finish. I cut out the checker floor that the kit provided, but I wasn't sure about it. So I dug through my paper stash, picked this woody Halloween piece, and then cut it to match the floor size. I waffled again on the flooring and decided to just apply the checkerboard option with a glue stick before assembling the rest of the base per the instructions. Then I moved on to the white wall. This does not match the witchy vibe that I want for this room, so I decided to paint it black. The kit came with a brown stair banister that I also painted black. After that dried, I glued down the walls to the base and then added in the banister. Next, I cut out all the artwork and attached them to their frames or wooden bases. While everything was drying, I moved on to assembling the first piece of furniture, the cabinet. At first, I wasn't sure if I wanted to paint this a different color, but I decided in the end I liked the reddish orangey look. I followed the directions here, attaching piece by piece carefully and letting it sit for a while in between steps. The little knobs are gold beads. Isn't that so cute? While the cabinet finished drying, I moved on to adding in the artwork to the wall. I used the picture in the booklet as a guide and slowly added in piece by piece. Although these weren't designed to be spooky pieces, I think they still work. We can pretend the butterflies are moths, and what witch doesn't enjoy flowers? Once the art was up, I decided once and for all I was not a fan of the checkerboard floor, and I glued down the second option that I had cut out earlier. Finally, I decided to move on to the armchair. This part was the most confusing because everything was in millimeters and, well, I'm American. Also, it's possible that staring at tiny objects for so long had melted my brain a bit. Anyway, after some Googling, I figured it out and began to cut out the fabric to the sizes specified. Then I went about making the chair, placing the wood sides and base down, making the back, stuffing the back, attaching the base and the back together, and then letting it sit for an hour or so before adding on the legs at the bottom. I will say that while assembling this, it will come apart if you don't hold it together, so I used masking tape to add some tension and keep all the pieces together while drying. I then went on to make the last piece of furniture, the side table. I decided to paint this a dark gray to blend in with the room. That baby blue just doesn't work for this witch. While that dried, I made more of the accessories. First the wall lamp, then the candle holder and candle, and a potion bottle. This bottle was supposed to have a piece of paper in it, but I used white glitter paint and green puffy paint to fill it up and give it that spooky, ooky, kooky, and creepy look. I then made the vase with flowers and attached it to the gray side table along with a coffee mug. Then I added some finishing touches, mainly making the base black, touching up any paint that had gotten scuffed, and then I decided that the pictures were too bright. So, using some golden honey acrylic paint and water, I made a wash and covered the pictures with it to make them look a little aged and dingy. Now that we're here, I guess that means it's time for the reveal. So if I were to make any changes to this, it would be what I usually do on my Halloween miniatures, which is add moss. Now, I do have some moss on hand, but unfortunately it wasn't the spongy kind that I wanted to line around the edges of the walls. When I get my hands on some, I'll definitely add some to the border of this little living room. But for now, considering the time constraints and considering that I just used what I had on hand, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Overall, I think it has the witchy cottage vibes that I was kind of going for, and so for that, I'm pretty pleased. How would you alter a miniature kit? Would you make it spooky like I did, or would you do something else? I would love to hear, so tell me in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye!